Father Joseph Anthony, tell us a little bit about the theological principles underpinning this. I know I flagged it before, but one of the things you wanted to bring to this conversation is the an understanding of the Virgin Mary as an ark.
Yeah. So I think my first encounter with this mystery or this dogma is through praying the Rosary. You know, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary and being the fourth glorious mystery, and then following on the heels of that, the fifth being the coronation. And I kind of always just tag them together as like a package deal in that sense. And I just always found myself kind of meditating more on the coronation and skipping over the Assumption. But as we look at this, and you mentioned some of the early church fathers, John Chrysostom, starting to refer to Our Lady as the Ark. Now, this is a very, we have to kind of roll scripture back into the Old Testament and see, well, what was the original Ark of the Covenant, right? And the original Ark of the Covenant was that which accompanied the Israelites in their exodus and in their kind of desert pilgrimage, but it was an expression of the fidelity of God to his people. And that ark contained elements of reminders of his great efforts to save his people and to care for them and to sustain them. So inside of that ark, and you can go back and read in the Old Testament about its construction and its design and all of this, but inside the ark were contained three things, right? It was the tablets of the Ten Commandments, the tablets of the law. It was a jar of manna from the time in the desert, the bread that was given from heaven, the heavenly bread, and then it was the staff of Aaron, which sprouted in a lily to confirm his priesthood in that way. And so you have these three items contained inside the ark, which are the kind of manifestations of the Lord's fidelity, promise, and sustenance, sustaining his people into the promised land. And so then that ark was carried inside the temple, and it was placed inside the temple, inside the Holy of Holies, right? So that's a very, very, very postcard version of what the Ark of the Covenant is, but how important it was to the Israelite people and its role and function also inside the temple itself. So the reason I bring this up is the church fathers very clearly saw the Blessed Virgin Mary as being the new ark or the fulfillment of the Old Testament ark. Because inside of her womb, she contained Jesus Christ, who is the Word, the eternal Word made flesh, the incarnate Word. So now we're fulfilling the Old Testament. We're fulfilling the law that was given, not written on stone, but now given flesh in the incarnate Word, right? He will become the bread of life. So the jars of manna now are fulfilled in his flesh that becomes our food in the Eucharist. And then we fulfill the priesthood that was given by bloodline in Aaron through the generations, now is given in Jesus Christ, his eternal priesthood. So the early church fathers saw the Blessed Virgin as this new Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so that's a lot of the kind of theological and meditation that's coming at. Now, the reason why I spend as much time as there is because I want to jump to the book of Revelation. The very end, Revelation chapter 12. If you want to know a lot about Mary, read Revelation chapter 12. And the very first line of that chapter reads this: "A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars." That's beautiful. Now, who is this woman, right? It was very clearly the Blessed Virgin Mary, because she was with child, and she cried out in pangs of birth and anguish for delivery. And another sign appeared in the heaven, right? So then we can go through all of that. It's very long, perfect for Marian studies and whatnot. But the final line of chapter 11, I think, gives us the clue into this. The final line of chapter 11 that precedes chapter 12 then is this: "Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and the ark of his covenant was seen within his temple. There were flashes of lightning, loud noises, peals of thunder, an earthquake, and heavenly hail." So when the heavens open, the heavenly temple opens up, it reveals the Ark of the Covenant. And then in chapter 12, it tells us specifically what that Ark of the Covenant is. It is a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, who is pregnant with a child. that will then fulfill and crush the serpent and the dragon and all of that. So as the heavens opened up and reveals the heavenly temple, and you get to peer through to see what chapter 11:19 says is the Ark of the Covenant in the heavenly Jerusalem. It's a woman bearing a son who will crush the evil serpent. And so it's so clearly Our Lady. So when we talk about her being assumed body and soul, it was her body that then fulfilled the physical body that fulfilled this Ark of the Covenant. And now she is in the heavenly Jerusalem, specifically in that
role. Father Bonaventure, what's your favorite version of the Bible?
Ooh, English Standard Version, Catholic Edition.
Okay, when was that published?
Sometime.
Okay, recently? Not too recently?
Yeah, some time ago.
Uh-huh, okay.
India uses it for the lectionary.
Okay, do any other countries use it?
Nope. Maybe? Oh, England is going to use it, I think.
Are they really?
Random news.
This is great.
I don't know.
So other things that you want to share with people?
They should subscribe to Godsplaining.
Yeah, they should.